Hey everyone, welcome back to Shoot the Chit, and boy am I happy to see you. Because you know what, today I'm going to be doing something that as of now I haven't seen anyone do, and that is try and achieve some of these outlandish range figures that these e-bike manufacturers put out. If you've been looking at e-bikes by now, you probably realize a lot of these bikes claim they can get ranges of 60, 100, and for instance, this wired bike says you can get a range of up to 80 miles. Are those figures accurate? I've already done a range test on this bike using real-world riding habits, and I got a range of about 32 miles. That was using the throttle. I wasn't riding conservative at all. But today, we're going to be doing a controlled test, and there's going to be a few rules. First off, I'm going to be riding here on this quarter-mile track. Every 20 laps, I will be changing directions. Rule number 2, I will not have fun under any circumstances. Rule number 3, I will be keeping this bike in pedal assist level 1 the entire time. For my sake, I'm kind of hoping Wired's claim of 80 miles is not accurate. That's a lot of riding. So all I want from you guys is just give this video a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. I pedaled it here with the bike turned off. I will set the tripometer as well as run my Strava. Go ahead and put your guesses down below. How far do you think I'm going to make it using pedal assist 1? I'm going to get started. I'll check in with you periodically and let you know how this is going. This is going to be an absolute banger, right? Let's get going. Come on. Reach our first update. I'm now officially 40 laps into the ride, or 10 miles. I'm at 64.8 volts on the battery. Full charge on this thing is 66.8 to 67 volts. This is gonna be a long day. I'm starting to realize now that, you know what, this could potentially suck pretty bad. But you know what? Living an unrestricted lifestyle means you set goals and you achieve those goals. So you know what? I'm gonna stay out here and ride around this track as many times as it takes until that battery goes dead. Unfortunately, as of now, I'm taking a little bit longer break than I was planning on because some nice old man over there with 1, no, not 2, but 3 pit bulls are having the time of their life running around with no leash on, and there is a hole in the fence. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this nice man to leave, and then I'm gonna get back on the track. Don't forget, if you're gonna be outside for this long, guys, wear some sunscreen. You could end up with some really bad sunburns out there on the trail. Ask me how I know how. Anyways, guys, I'm back to it. I'll check in with you soon. Checking back in. Currently at 80 laps right now. Battery voltage at rest is around 61.8. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, it's not really getting any funner. I've been out here a couple hours at this point, and unfortunately the man with his 3 dogs stuck around for way longer than expected, so I had to end up waiting for him for a while. We're back on track, literally, and I've been cruising about 15 miles an hour, between 14 and 16 miles an hour, pedal assist 1, and if you can see, I'm consistently pedaling. I'm not letting off the pedals at all. The bike's consistently pulling about 240 watts. You know, when you're riding out here, you're riding this much, you have a lot of time to think, and you know, I realized, like, hey, you know what? I actually attended this middle school behind me here. It's a junior high when I went, you know, and I wasn't the best student at the time. And when we had to run the mile, I would rarely do it. So you know what, I'm kind of making up for old time today. Already at 20 miles, and you know what, Mr. Strickland or Teddy Walsh, Mr. Walsh, if you're watching this, you know, this one's dedicated to you. But anyways, guys, I am gonna get back onto the pedaling, and we'll check back in about 40 more laps. Okay, I am at 120 laps, and at this point I'm starting to notice there's a problem. And that problem is, clearly the path I'm taking, or maybe this track itself is not exactly a quarter mile, or maybe the speedometer on the bike isn't exactly accurate. But I'm at 120 laps and I am showing 31.4 miles on the odometer. I did start to notice at 80 laps it was saying 26 miles, so I'm going to give you both figures when I'm done, but I've been checking the voltage after every 20 laps. What am I, Bill and I, the science guy? But I have to say, at this point, showing 31.4 miles in, it continues to suck. I'm not having the best time of my life, but you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. My butt feels like what I imagine hamburger meat being made feels like. If you're riding a normal ride, no matter how long it is, you get on and off the saddle and it gives you time to like get your circulation going. But when you're just consistently pedaling the entire time, it doesn't do the best things for your circulation. The last check-in, I just started to show 3 out of 4 bars. I'm now showing 2 out of 4 bars. The battery pack itself is showing 3 bars. Whose bright idea was it to do a range test on pedal assist 1? Huh? Which one of you guys put me up to this? You know, I bet you a lot of people are out there enjoying their nice Saturday, going to a barbecue, hanging out with their friends. Maybe it's date night. Not me. I'm riding around in circles at the local school until my battery runs out. I'm doing this so you don't have to. So I'm curious to see how far we can go. At this point, I'm guessing, I'm going to guess 70 miles. But guys, put down your guess below, and you know what? We'll find out when we get there. So, wish me luck. Big check-in time. We are at 160 laps, reading 42.1 miles. The voltage was at 56.8 or 56.9 at rest. And we are now showing 1 bar out of 4. I think I've made it through the crappy part. I'm now feeling okay. I'm ready to push through this. My expectations are definitely changing. I was thinking possibly 70 earlier, but now I'm guessing maybe 60, but we'll find out soon enough. You know, you've learned some things about yourself when you're out here and you put yourself through challenges. And one of those things I've learned about myself is I'm a counterclockwise guy. Enjoy going around this track counterclockwise much more than I have clockwise. Another thing I've noticed is when I started this ordeal, way back when I was a much younger man and I started this adventure, the pedal assist 1 was drawing about 250 watts. And as I've mentioned before, as the voltage decreases on these bikes, so does the wattage, because your wattage is voltage times amps. So as your voltage decreases, so does your total output. So now showing around 220 watts. And it's actually, I can notice a little bit of a difference. It's a little more effort to keep it at 15 miles an hour, which I've done this entire time, by the way, between 14 and 16. But now it's taking a little more leg work than it did before. I might be doing irreparable damage to my butt for the sake of this video. Please just give it a like or subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Maybe with advancements in technology, I can get a butt transplant after this and live a normal life. But as of now, guys, it's not feeling too good. I don't have high expectations. You know what? We're gonna get to the end of this goal today. I'm pushing through it. I'm gonna achieve the goal I set out for. Your mind's a scumbag. As soon as I started, it was like, you know, I could quit. I don't have to release this footage. You guys wouldn't even know. I could have just stopped doing it, and then the only person that would have to live with that or know that was myself. But I've decided, I'm unrestricted. I'm gonna go ahead and push through it and just keep going until this battery dies. I'm feeling good about it now. I've decided also to pull up the sleeves to get a little bit of sun on those guns. Oh yeah, it's a shame to have them hidden under these sleeves, or these bicep burkas as I call them. Anyways guys, that's we're at 164 right now. Check in later and we'll see how the tide changes, but for now I'm feeling good. I'm thinking 60 miles is a possibility. Big time update. We just passed lap 200, reading about 52.6 miles. And we are showing no bars. At rest, the battery was around 53.8 volts, but now when I'm pedaling, we're seeing about 52 and a half. This is bittersweet, guys, because honestly, this means the end is in sight. We have a few more miles left, but I was kind of hoping to hit 60 miles, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. But keep in mind, I don't know how they do these tests. I'm 240 pounds. I've been pedaling at 15 miles an hour pretty much the entire time. When I'm moving, I'm pedaling. I feel like I've grown as a person throughout this whole journey. What day is it? When did I start? It's just weird. I've been out here pretty much all day. It was 11:30 when I started. Granted, I didn't get to pedal the entire time because I had to avoid that guy and his dogs for a little bit. Unfortunately, I've already checked my Strava and I can tell it's not very accurate. Those of you guys who use Strava realize that sometimes it's just like that. And unfortunately, I just got a new phone and it appears something's not happy with my new phone and Strava. The miles on the tripometer is the most important. So it's 53.1 now. The finish line's in sight, guys. We just got to power through. I have a feeling we're getting right towards the end. It's showing 51.3 volts. We're on lap 203. And I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like these lithium-ion batteries, as their voltage level drops, it drops faster and faster. So it seems like it holds steady up in the 60s, and then once it gets down into the 50s, it just starts dipping faster. And since 55 volts or so, I can see the volt decrease lap by lap. So it's decreasing really fast at this point. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm kind of mentally fatigued. It's not like this is excruciatingly physically hard. I've been constantly pedaling for hours now. It takes its toll on you, you know? So you just keep going and going and going. Come on, guys, we're almost to the promised land. Don't give out on me now, Bruiser. I can't tell you guys how happy it makes me that you guys have been watching my e-bike videos. You know, I've been making videos for a while, and it's hard to get out of your circle of friends and family. Like, where my friends and family will watch my videos, but it doesn't reach anyone. But now I can tell, since I've been doing e-bike oriented videos, it's reaching people I don't know, and it's kind of a cool feeling. You know, somebody, you write in the comments where you're watching from, and it's like, man, it's just kind of neat. And I encourage you guys, if you have a hobby or if you like making videos, you should utilize YouTube. It's a great creative outlet for you. I really enjoy making the videos. It's like giving me a new purpose. And I'm not trying to act like I know my videos. I'm not Martin Scorsese or anything, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy making people laugh, and I don't know, I'm just having a good time with it. And it's really cool to see that other people seem to enjoy them too. That's enough mushy stuff for me. Maybe it's the fact that I've ridden my bike for now going on over 2 marathons, but I really appreciate you guys watching. Back to Battery Watch 2023, and we are down to now 50.6 volts. I have completely lost track of how many laps we're at. I'd say my count up to 200 laps was fairly accurate, but now it's anybody's guess. As I told you before, the wattage is getting lower and lower as that voltage drops. So now we're hitting around 200 watts, and I can feel the weight of the bike. The more distance I go, the heavier this bike is starting to feel. And let me tell you, riding this down here with the motor off, granted I don't live very far away, it was not the funnest experience. This bike is not geared to be ridden without the motor turned on. It is heavy and it is a slug. 55.4 miles. Come on, Bruiser. Don't give out on me yet, buddy. Does this feel like when you watch a football game and the whole first 3 quarters and most of the 4th quarter goes by in a blur, and then the last 2 minutes takes forever? Yeah, we're in that. We're in the 4th quarter, last 2 minutes. All timeouts are remaining. 50.0 right now. We are running on fumes right now, guys. Ooh, I can feel it. It cut out, guys. That is it. Okay, 55.7 miles, and we're showing 51.4 volts. I'm going to go ahead and call that 55.7 miles at 51.6 volts remaining, but when I was pedaling, it was down to right about 50. I'll catch up with you guys back at headquarters, and we'll go over the numbers from there. All right, guys, back at HQ, and I wanted to go over the results of this test with you. But first, I need to give a shout out to my friend's son, Brody Draw Stuff, who made the logo for my channel, which you see down there in the corner. So thanks a lot, Brody. And for those of you guys don't know, Shoot the Chit is a play on words. My last name contains chit in it. That's as much as you need to know. I made a graph with the data I entered after every 20 laps. I made an update. I can put those numbers down into the description of this video if you guys want to really dig into it. I wouldn't say these are, hard scientific fact, because, I did over 200 laps and, your mind starts to kind of go nuts after a while. So I might have miscounted some of the laps. But what's important is the odometer on the bike. And I did go 55.7 miles. I rode an additional, 5 or 6 blocks back home. I turned the bike back on and the power did give me like 2 blocks and then it died again. So this test is pretty indicative of what a full charge will get you on pedal assist 1. So do I think that these numbers are inaccurate or being deceitful? No. Misleading? Possibly. Do I think 80 miles is possible on this bike? Yeah, I do think you could get 80 miles with the lighter rider. I'm 240 and more favorable conditions. But is it realistic to say up to 80 miles? No, not really. But unfortunately, all the manufacturers do this. They use the same approach. So if you had one manufacturer who started to use realistic range expectations, you'd be comparing bikes and you'd look at one and say, whoa, this is significantly less. So unfortunately, this is the world we live in now, where all the manufacturers use these inflated range claims. But with the wired specifically in these higher powered bikes, there's a saying, with great power comes great battery consumption. So you're going to have to expect the higher powered bikes you get, the faster you can burn the battery down. If you do the math, pedal assist 1 is typically drawing around 250 watts, give or take. And, I was out there for a little over 4 hours of riding time. So 250 watts per hour at 4 hours is 1,000 watts. You got to consider 1,200 watt hour capacity is not going to be 100% efficient. So I'd have to say those are kind of in line with what you'd expect from a 1,200 watt hour battery. But anyways, that's enough rambling. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget, guys, live unrestricted.